Hi, I'm Kelsey from roughandtumblefarmhouse.com, and today I'm going to tell you all about ground cherries. Ground cherries are something that I got introduced to about a decade ago, and I was just amazed because they are so delicious and have a really interesting fruity, earthy kind of flavor. Another name for them is Husk Cherries, or sometimes they're also called tomato strawberries and things because they are related to the tomato plant and have a bit of that tomatoey taste, but also they have kind of a citrusy, pineapple-y. It's kind of hard to explain, and different varieties have a slightly different taste. Ground cherries are super easy to grow. You just start them around the same time as you start your tomato plants. They do better when transplanted out, but they do self-seed super easy, as you'll see in a little bit here, because they sprawl all over and drop their beautiful little lantern pods all over the place too. So here is the little ground cherry patch in my garden, which I probably should have spaced the plants a little bit further apart because they definitely like to sprawl out. So as you can see, they kind of look a little similar to a tomato, and they will put on these beautiful little fruits. They mature in about, I think it's 65 to 75 days, they'll be ready to go. So this one is still ripening, and when the fruit is ready, they actually drop off. So here on the side, you can see I have some that I need to harvest. So it has this really cool little outer husk, kind of like a tomatillo, and it gets brown when it's ready, and then you can just squeeze the husk off to the side, and then there will be a delicious little fruit inside. They are so delicious. Like I said, they're really very sweet, and it's just like opening a little present in the garden every time you find one. I like to eat them just fresh out of the garden like this. You can also eat them in jams. You can make pies out of them. So anything that would be like, I'd say, a green tomato pie recipe, you could substitute in ground cherries, and they're really delicious. Since they are so closely related to tomatoes, the same sort of pests you can get with tomato plants, you can get with your ground cherries. So they like to be watered as well, really, really deep to get a good root system, as opposed to kind of a more shallow watering. Storing your ground cherries, you want to keep them for about a week at most. Just store them on the countertop, leave them in their husks and in a single layer is best. They also freeze really nicely. You can all the berries in a bag, toss them in the freezer, and then use them later. They also make really good salsa. So that's it, just a quick little video about ground cherries. They're super easy to grow, especially when you live in northern climates and you're kind of limited on what sort of fruits you can have. It's great to grow these things because they are very prolific, and as you can see, since they scatter all over the ground, they will very easily self-seed for you. So they're delicious, they're fun, and really worth giving a try. Thanks so much for watching. Check out the blog post for more details over at roughandtumblefarmhouse.com. We have 2 new posts every single week and a new video here about farming, family food, and fortitude here at our Rough and Tumble Farmhouse.